Well, like Amy, of the members of my family, I play sports the least, which is to say, I've never played sports. um, Good. How you doing?
Great, great. Thank you for having me today to talk to us, Alison. Well, first of all, I really love that Amy leads, with her feelings, with her emotions. How did you approach her character?
Thank you for saying that. I love that about her too. I think it's a big part of what made me want to play the character. Um, I think I just was constantly trying to figure her out. What makes her this way? Why is she so open emotionally? And how could I tap into that myself? Honestly, it was a lot of time. It was a lot of time by myself listening to music, dropping into my own emotions and sort of like visualizing Amy's backstory and her history, if that makes sense, kind of like trying to see the world through her eyes. It was easy to do this because we shot the show in Australia. I was so far from home, kind of in this foreign land where nobody knew me, and I really could I had a lot of time to myself to really like think about this person and kind of live my day to day thinking about her and how she goes about her life. So there was really a lot of that classic, it sounds very actory, but there really was a lot of like dropping in, tapping into emotion whenever I could. And once that was layered in, then it became easy. I found these sort of easy touchstones to her makeup. Some of the clues were in the script, some of them were in the book. I did a lot of mining of the book for just information about Amy and why she is the way she is.
And I really like her connection with her mom, especially because, with Annette, because, she kind of understands her in a way. So I kind of wanted to know, how did you act it with her to create that special connection, the special bond they have?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that Amy's mom, Joy, is the only person in the family that understands her, and she sort of acts as her protector.
Yeah.
A lot of the work that we did really consisted of talk. It was less about running the scenes and rehearsing the scenes. It was more about talking about the characters, talking about their family history and how they related to their father and how his behavior affected all of them. But Annette and I did get to do this great rehearsal where we played out a scene that is not in the show at all. We sort of played out this moment of Amy calling her mother from the hospital. It sort of would be a scene that takes place right before a scene that's in the show. And it was a great exercise because I think it helped us both really just tap into how they related as mother and daughter, and even on an unspoken level, how they were connected emotionally. I mean, Annette is such an incredible actress. So she can do anything. It's not like we had to work hard to get that dynamic, but she's so present and right there. And it was really extraordinary to get to work with her on this.
And I also really like that this is a family of athletes, so you can see the competition between them, through the episodes. And that's something that we don't see that often. So I wanted to know, what was your relationship with tennis in particular and with sports in general?
Well, like Amy, of the members of my family, I play sports the least, which is to say, I've never played sports. Everyone in my family plays tennis, actually, and I always really rejected it. I never wanted to play. For this show, I got to take some tennis lessons, and I actually really liked it. I was really excited to play, but then we didn't have that much time, so I thought I was going to get so good at tennis, but that sort of never happened, and then we had to start shooting the show. Luckily, my character only plays tennis in one quick scene, so I didn't have to be that good at it. But I do think it's a great lens through which we get to see this family and their dynamic, because it's so different the way these children were raised as competitors with their father as their coach. That says everything you need to know about who they are as adults, because they live their lives fighting for their father's love, competing for their father's love, wanting to be winners, not losers, you know? And each child in the Delaney family had a different reaction to that. I think Amy is the biggest rebel in the family because she basically has made it her life's work to reject competition, to reject expectation. She's sort of like, oh, guess what? I'm not going to make any plans or do anything really with my life. I'm going to live in the present. I'm going to do things that make me feel good. It's like, I sort of get the feeling that Amy has spent her adult life trying to undo all of the unhealthy psychological games that were played on her, you know, in her childhood.
And well, we love these shows. We love these types of shows. I love Nine Perfect Strangers and Big Little Lies as well. I couldn't stop watching this one as well. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we are so fascinated with these stories about families keeping secrets? Why do you think we love them so much?
Well, everybody loves a mystery, first of all. I think it's fun as a viewer to watch a mystery because you're trying to figure it out. And whoever you're watching it with, you can chat, you know, it's fun to chat about it with your friends. What do you think is going on? What do you think's happening? But to your point about Leanne Moriarty's work, you know, her books have turned into Nine Perfect Strangers and Big Little Lies. I think she's great at writing characters. And all of these shows are great ensemble shows where everybody has somebody to connect with, right? And the other characters are people that you have experienced in life, right? You're looking at a lot of different archetypes of people. And on this show, more specifically, a family. And we all come from some type of family, and we all know the intricacies of family dynamics, how complicated they can be. That's something that is really under the microscope on this show, and it's so relatable.
And also I find it really interesting that when, you know, mother disappears and everyone has a different reaction, and every reaction is so different. So as you know, as Alison, which was the reaction that you felt the most identified with? You know, the brother or the father? I mean, was that like, yeah, you know, I could relate more to him or to her, like...
You know, it's tough. I feel like I spend so much time only seeing everything through Amy's perspective. My knee-jerk reaction is to say Amy's, but I probably in real life would be more like Brooke Delaney at the start of sort of being like, let's not blow this out of proportion, you know, let's not jump to conclusions. I'm sure everything, you know, I think I'm an optimist in life. So I would probably be like, let's give it a minute and see what happens. You know, Amy is apt to jump to the most dramatic conclusion as soon as possible. But I actually think it's a good quality for her. She's sort of like, she's always prepared for the worst, you know?
Yeah, completely. That's really important. And, you know, we see, you know, a lot of flash forwards and flashbacks. I mean, there's a lot of coming in and coming out. So how did you show that? And did you find it challenging in any way? Like, okay, what are we shooting now? Is this before? Is this after? How do you prepare for that in that particular sense?
Yes, logistically, it could be a little difficult. I think we were all constantly checking in with each other and with our directors. Which timeline is this? Who knows what?
Right.
You know, that was kind of the biggest thing. Did they know this about me yet? What has been revealed? But we had a lot of timelines written out and all of that. I think I was just constantly going back and forth in the script. And when you're watching the show, I always tell people a good rule of thumb is if Annette Bening is in the scenes, it's the past because she's missing in the past.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's a good way to clear that out. So you have worked on so many shows that we loved. I mean, here in Argentina, we love Community so much. We are like huge fans, for example, and we love Mad Men and Glow. I mean, they are all really successful shows that are really close to my heart, at least, you know. So what do you learn and what do you seek when you're finding new projects to, okay, this is really interesting for that, or, you know, that reason, especially in this case with Apples Never Fall?
Yeah, well, I've just been so lucky to get to work on so many amazing shows, and thank you so much for saying that. I've learned so much from each show. I think I learned the most from the actors that I get to work with on the show. I've been part of all of these shows that you mentioned were great, large ensembles and different styles of show. You know, on Mad Men, I think I learned so much about nuance and doing less and the subtext of what was going on underneath the surface with the characters. On Community, it was like a crash course in styles of comedy and different ways, from really physical comedy to, you know, more verbal, you know, things like that. And on Glow, the physicality was such a big part of it, but also working with an actor like Betty Gilpin, I feel like she was so extraordinary that I just learned so much from her about being in the moment. So, I mean, again, on this, getting to work with Annette Bening and Sam Neill and Jake Lacey, like watching them work on set, I'm like a sponge, like absorbing what everybody's doing. So that has been really fun. And when I look ahead, I think I just want to find things that are different and unique and things that I haven't done before, which this show certainly gave me a lot of opportunities to do that.
Completely. Well, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on the show. I really loved it. Really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Lucia.
Gracias, Alison. Bye.